Hello, Charles Buena here with Leadership is a Way of Life. In our last session, we talked about the purpose of a family. If you have not seen that video, we will put a link below for you to access it. It's important that you watch it first, as it will set the foundation for what we will cover today. So my intent with these videos is to help family members, my posterity, and friends worldwide to create happier families. Today, we're going to be defining leadership. Now, leadership is one of those words like happiness and beauty where it sounds good, but until we define it, it becomes more difficult to pursue. Now, our definition of leadership applies to all organizations, whether it's applied to families, companies, or countries for that matter. I invite you to look at this definition as it applies in different settings. So by doing so, you'll see the power of the definition. So here's our definition of leadership. Leadership is lifting others to the standards you are inspired to live daily. Now let me repeat that. Leadership is lifting others to the standards you are inspired to live daily. Now there's a great deal packed in that one sentence. So the three nouns I wanted to focus on in this definition are you, others, and standards. So here's a visual representation of this definition. So if this circle, represents you, and that's all you ever think about is yourself, that makes for a very narrow reality. Okay, so although we may be born as self-centered infants, trying to survive from birth, as we mature, we realize it is not enough, to think about just ourselves or to be self-centered. So the second circle represents, others. Again, second circle represents others. Now, as we mature, even as an infant, we realize that there are benefits to associating with others, and we actually need it for survival. For example, studies show that we need human touch simply to survive. As we get a bit older, we see the benefits of having not just family members, but friends and other uplifting associations. In this process, we are maturing, as we consider not only our needs, but the needs of others as well. In the back and forth interaction with others, relationships are formed. But if all we ever think about is ourselves and others, that could be problematic as well. So let me explain what I mean. I've had young newlyweds tell me that as they look at their spouse, they have come to realize that the love that they have for each other is all they're ever really going to need. I just had to laugh and told them that's called honeymoon. And now I said, now when the honeymoon is over, and as you have differences of opinions and approaches to life's challenges, you're going to move from infatuation to tolerance to disbelief and eventually to a fight. And that fight will continue until we realize there's another circle that we need to bring into our lives. And this circle, this third one, represents standards. So that circle represents whatever standards we want to live our lives by. So for example, when my daughter got serious about a young man, they were thinking of getting married. The young man approached me and asked for my blessing to marry my daughter. And I told him that I would give him an answer to his question once he gave me an answer to my question. I told him that if he gave me a good answer, my answer to him would be yes. But if he didn't give me a good answer, then my answer to him would be no. You should have seen the sweat just coming down his face. Folks, if you ever have the opportunity to do this, I would highly recommend it. So it's so much fun. So anyway, I said, now I didn't want a long paragraph. I just wanted a short answer, preferably one sentence. I said, so my question was this: what is the purpose of marriage? What I was really asking was, what's this? What will be the standard in your marriage? Now, I did tell him that I didn't need the answer immediately, And I also told them that I didn't even want the answer coming from just him. I said I wanted the answer after he talks to my daughter. I said I wanted an answer that represents their collective thinking. And they came back weeks later and they said the purpose of marriage is to learn to become. I said, learn to become what? And they said, we'll figure that out later. So it's interesting as they come for dinner, Sunday dinner or whatnot. Sometimes they would say, oh, I would ask them, what did you learn to become this week? They would say things like, this week we've learned to become more patient, or this week we've learned to do a better job of listening. Okay, so and I thought that's a great answer as far as learning to become. Okay, when another daughter got serious with a young man, I went through the same drill. And they came back and they said the purpose of marriage is to learn together and create joy. Okay, see, I wasn't looking for a particular answer. I just wanted them to wrestle with the question. I told them that in marriage or in any relationship, tough times will come. And when they do, I wanted them to go back to the answer to this question of what is the purpose of marriage? I said, this question, this is not for me. This question is for you. Now, I wish I had it, but I didn't have the insight to do this with my eldest daughter. So I just asked the question after they were married. And their answer was equally powerful. They said the purpose of marriage is to create synergy, selflessness, and supernal joy. And I can see in their interactions and then in their decision-making process, they're moving towards the standard of creating synergy, selflessness, and supernal joy. Again, I wasn't looking for a particular answer. I just wanted them to wrestle with the question. And I think it is best for my children to think about the answer to this question before there is a serious relationship. That way they won't force fit the answer to match the person that they're currently dating. Okay, and I've actually posed this question to my children who are not yet married and are not dating someone seriously. And as they come up with an answer beforehand, their answer becomes a filter on who they should and should not date. So let me give you another example. So I immigrated to the United States when I was 10 years old. And until now, I've only seen the whole country come together one time. Okay, and that time was 9/11. And after the September 11, 2001 attacks, the whole country came together in a spirit of unity around the standard of patriotism. So that was then, but what is the standard today? We don't know. And because we don't know, there's a great deal of conflict in the United States. And I believe it will continue, not until someone proves they are more right than another, but until we figure out the standard that we can agree on as a country. Okay, this concept applies whether it's our families and the countries that we live in, and our schools, in the companies where we work. Okay, think about your workplace. Okay, how united are the employees and employers alike, moving towards a common standard that inspires them versus simply doing what they're told in the context of their department. In too many companies, employees just coexist. Okay, and the same thing can happen in families. Without a unifying and aspirational family standard, family members may just coexist. Okay, we don't become united as families by going this way. Okay, we become united as families by going this way, or as we move towards a common standard. So why do we get closer by going this way? Okay, because the closer we get, the bigger the imperfections will look to us. I mean, how hard is it to see imperfections in others, especially family members when we're with them every single day? It's not difficult at all. Okay, I've actually seen family members try to resolve differences simply by figuring out a way to be with them less. Okay, we just run away or ignore the problems, hoping that the problems will just magically go away if we run away from it long enough. Okay, now we can run away from conflict, but we won't be a happy family by running away from family. Instead, we need to figure out the standard we want as a family. Now, you'll notice that there are 3 circles, and each circle has a different label. Now, sometimes some people try to take 2 spots. They're here and here. Okay, sometimes people with positional power will say things like, I am the standard. Okay, at a minimum, that's arrogance. At a maximum, that's tyranny. We've seen dictators throughout history who claim, I am the standard. And that's a problem. That's a problem. We've seen heads of companies take the same approach, and they may even succeed for a time. But as soon as there is a change in leadership, the company looks to read the tea leaves to figure out the new personality. And if this is happening, that's a problem. Even in our own homes, if parents put themselves as the standard, okay, problems tend to unnecessarily arise. Sometimes we don't put ourselves as the standard, but instead family members just assume that we are. Okay, be careful. Watch out. That's a trap. Because if things go wrong and you are the standard, whose fault is that? That's your fault. Okay? If in your workplace and you hold a management position, be careful that people don't see you as the standard, because again, that's a trap. Okay, the standard is not a person. Okay, we need to decide as a family, what kind of family do we want to become? Okay, and then every member, okay, then will move towards that standard. Okay, so again, we don't go this way, right? We're moving towards that family standard. So let me name 3 organizations. And what I would like for you to do is to write down the next word that comes to mind when I name these organizations. So either write them down or just kind of have them in your mind, okay? So the first organization is Apple. So what comes to your mind when you think of the company Apple? Okay, so let me give you the second organization. The second organization is Amazon. Okay, what comes to mind when you think of the company Amazon? Now, the third organization is your family. Okay, what would you like family members or extended family members to say when they think about your family name? I invite you to consider what standard you want what you want as a standard for your family. Meaning, what are the few words that would capture the kind of family that you would like to become? Now, we'll revisit the words that you come up with, not in the next video, but the one after that, to make sure that you're taking the most important aspects of families into account. In the meantime, think about what standard do you want for your family? Again, let's go back to our definition of leadership. Leadership is lifting others to the standard you are inspired to live daily. Okay, today the invitation is for you to think about your family standard, and in the videos that will follow, we will take a deeper look at how we can lift others, okay, towards the standard, as well as being inspired to live the standards daily ourselves. So if you thought this content was worthwhile, please consider subscribing to this channel, and please share the video with people who would benefit from this type of content. I would also invite you to give us some feedback, okay, clarifying questions, application questions, anything that would make this more worthwhile for you and your family. Okay, in the next video, we're going to talk about what the root cause of what gets in the way of helping us become the family that we want to become. Okay, I mean, how will we strengthen our families? Okay, because strengthening the family is the most important work we can all do. We'll see you in the next video.